Today is July 1st, 2025. It's 5:30 p.m. and we are in the Bosch Freilich Meeting Room, Mandan City Hall. Mr. Neubauer, could you please take the roll?
Commissioners Heinchan.
Here.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Here.
Schoberg.
Here.
Mayor Freilich.
Here. Tonight we are going to have Scout Troop 425 and Cub Scout Pack 153 to kick off this Independence Week, present the colors. Gentlemen, please rise.
Color guard, attention. Color guard, advance. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we will have Lynn Zachmeyer, who is a para educator at Lewis and Clark Elementary, lead us in the national anthem.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Color guard, dismissed.
Well, that's going to kick your 4th of July off, huh? Thank you very much, Lynn, and thank you, Scouts. Great job. Want to come up for a bow? No? Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to announcements. July 4th festivities with Matt Shannendorf from the MPO. Matt?
Good evening, Mayor Freilich and Commissioners. Yes, we have a busy week ahead of us here for the festivities of Mandan Rodeo Days here in downtown Mandan and really across the community. Just kind of giving an update on some of the schedules and stuff like that. Art in the Park kicks off first with on Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 or 7 p.m. and then again on the 4th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that's the first event that kind of kicks off. The Mandan Rodeo actually kicks off tonight with their rodeo there, and then goes Thursday and Friday. And then the parade is on Friday for the 4th. So it's hard to adjust this week with everything happening up till Friday. So a few updates on the parade that we've been talking about the last month here is the removal of the staging area from Dakota Centennial Park. And I think if I click, what's up there? There we go. Okay, well, it's on my screen here. So, but the staging area was moved from Dakota Centennial Park to West Memorial Highway as part of the adjustments for the Memorial Highway reconstruction project. And so staging will be taking place on West Memorial. So Memorial Highway will be closed from the intersection of 3rd Street Southeast by McDonald's and Memorial Highway all the way to Main Street in preparation for that staging area. And that will begin at 6 a.m. on the morning of the 4th. Float participants have been advised to enter the staging area from 3rd Street intersection and Memorial Highway by McDonald's. They can access that intersection from 3rd Street Southeast, Bisman Avenue off of Twin City Drive, as well as being westbound on Memorial Highway coming from Bismarck. They can enter right into that particular area. The participant drop-off is a little bit different this year as well. We're using Riverwood Avenue for that drop-off, and there will be some limited parking down by Memorial on the open lot across from Riverwood RV. Besides the staging, the parade will begin at the normal time it does, preceding the Classic Car Parade, which will enter Main around 10 a.m. The parade will shortly follow around 10:15 a.m. as it enters Main Street and proceeds down Main Street. Typical timing, it usually reaches Art in the Park right around 11, a little bit before 11 a.m. on the morning of the 4th on that route. And the parade should conclude right around 12:30, 1 o'clock on the 4th of July. So a lot of activities kind of surrounding that. We have advised folks that are planning, that have typically used Memorial Highway as an area to observe the parade, to maybe navigate and explore new areas on Main Street, just because that will not have a presentation of the parade on Memorial Highway. We will return there eventually, so just explore some new spots for the next couple of years, and then we will be returning back to that normal route. The closure in downtown Mandan for Art in the Park will start tomorrow on July 2nd at 6 a.m., and that will allow for vendors to get in and get set up for Art in the Park. We have about 100 plus vendors and food trucks that will be in both Dykeshorn and Heritage Parks for the 2 days of July 3rd and 4th. July 4th, we will Main Street closes at 7 a.m. on the morning of the 4th, and that is to lead into the 4th of July road race, which will take place on Main Street starting and ending at Dykeshorn Park as well. And that closure is right there. So residents have been advised in numerous news releases about the closure on Main Street from around 2nd Avenue near the Hirsch Floral building to the Morton Mandan Public Library. So that stretch of Main will be closed, as well as 3rd Avenue from Main Street to the alley. There will be limited parking, and that has gone out as well in the downtown corridor for Art in the Park. And you can see there some of the limited parking areas, and this is just to allow for the vendors and food trucks and all that kind of stuff, and we want our residents and visitors to be safe as well. So that will be implemented starting tomorrow at 6 a.m. But that's pretty much it. I want to thank Mandan PD and Mandan Public Works for helping us out with everything. It's been a collaborative effort to undertake this event, and it does take a lot of the collaboration between the different agencies and departments of the city, as well as the county and the state, to put on the parade. So it is a very large undertaking, and we're very happy and excited to have this 146th annual parade, I believe.
That's great. Thank you, Matt. One question, if you could bring up the first map. 3rd Street is open, right? So if
Yes.
you're coming from Bismarck and you need to get down to the South Mandan to the Ball Diamonds,
Yes, access to
take
South.
Memorial Highway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, access to South Mandan via 3rd Street Southeast at that intersection McDonald's will remain open for the entirety of the parade. So you will have full traffic flow through that intersection to the South Mandan.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
and good luck.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor, Commissioners. Matt, who leads off the parade? Which band?
The band?
Yes.
So our lead band is going to be the Mandan High School marching band.
Outstanding.
Will be the band. Yes, outstanding. They did very well representing us in Hawaii in December. So we're excited to have them be our lead band and leading that off. And our parade marshal this year is the Patriot Kids Patriot groups that's here in town with the McQuaid's tournament. So we're excited to have them as well.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioners, you have the agenda in front of you.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Braun to approve the agenda, a second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Hanschon,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. On to the minutes. Consider approval of the following Board of City Commission meeting minutes, June 17th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the June 17th, 2025 regular meeting.
We have a motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioners Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Hanschon,
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Looking for approval for the June 24th, 2025 special meeting.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the June 24th, 2025 special meeting as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Hanschon,
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. And finally, regarding the minutes, June 25th, 2025, we had a fire department pinning ceremony. We had a quorum there. So I'm looking to get that approved.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rohr, second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioners Hanschon,
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We have no public hearings tonight, nor bids. Commissioners, you have the consent agenda in front of you. Are there any items you would like removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion regarding the consent agenda? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Hanschon,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Okay, on to old business. Item number 1, consider a development agreement for the Shores at Lakewood, second edition. Mr. Neubauer?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioners, we have been trading drafts of development agreements between city staff and the developer. In this case, several different exchanges have occurred. I think we had 4 main issues in the last development agreement that we spoke of a few weeks ago. One of them was a grass collection site. There is language that I think we are comfortable with, but we still are waiting. There's some core approvals and things like that. Developer has to need to locate that grass collection site in the northwest corner of the wastewater treatment plant facility. There are a couple of alternatives. We just want to make sure, in the end of the day, that collection site remains as close to the population that may use it as possible. Developer has suggested it may be relocated to the southwest portion, which is certainly a lot farther away for residents to drive and a lot farther for our folks to pick up those bins and get them out to the landfill. So that is one issue that we are continuing to work through. But I think, like I said, I think we can draft language that will get us to a point where we're comfortable. One of the other issues was a lift station that will be installed for this development, Shores second, third, and fourth. Developer had requested that be special assessed. We came back with it needs to be part of the three-way agreement and part of the developer costs. Developer has said that will occur, so they're in agreement with that. Also, the future upgrade to the lift station on 40th Avenue, we estimate that to be about a $75,000 upgrade in the pumps. As more living units and commercial units come online from Shore 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we had suggested a upfront $75,000 payment. We are willing, and developers willing, to do $25,000 at the as Shore's 2nd comes in, and as Shore's 3rd comes in, another $25,000 payment, and as Shore's 4th comes in, another $25,000 payment. So we're comfortable with that language. That leaves us to the special assessment period for the above ground portions of this project. In essence, developer would like to see as much of that project assessed over a 20-year period, thinking that it will save the future property owners payments on the specials. We've had a few discussions back and forth, and there's, that's something that we, like concrete curbs, stormwater that are made out of concrete pipes and things like that, that could be considered longer than your typical 15-year asphalt street. We're working through some details on that portion of it, where there's a lot of different variables that go into constructing a street project, and should that original groundwork that be done be part of the concrete 20-year assessment or part of the 15-year assessment. So we're still working on some of those things back and forth. I think the developer is willing to, certainly what we put in the bid packages could be assessed over a 15-year period that were relating to the street. On the above ground side, below ground side, we would consider a 20-year assessment on those longer term concrete structures. Is that fair? Okay. Art, is that fair? So that's where we are at today. There's still some work to do on the exact wording in the developer agreement as far as what we call the street improvement district, what we call the water, stormwater district, and things like that we have to work out before we would bring to you a final agreement. But if you are okay with those items as we are at this point in time, we will work on that draft final agreement to be presented on July 15th. I think as we just need a couple works to work out some of those final details and bring back that final agreement for you to consider.
Any questions for Mr. Neubauer?
So it's pretty much an update on where we're at on this agreement, but I think we've been able to work our way through those pieces of the agreement.
Okay.
Mayor, it's just informational at this point in time. Mayor Jim, just information.
Mayor
We
Fraley,
don't
Commissioner
take
Rohr,
any action.
yes. I think your final action would come at the point of the development agreement. Like I said, I think I see heads nodding that, yeah, we're kind of good with where we're at right now, but we will get those final language drafts put in the final agreement to come on July 15th for your consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good.
On to new business. Consider the adoption of a public comment policy. Mr. Neubauer?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioners, the last legislative session, there was some century code put in where it would require school districts, city commissions, park districts to hold a public comment period on each of their agendas. That comment period would be related to only those items on the current agenda or the previous agenda. It's not a free-for-all open up. But in order to do that, we would need to adopt a policy related to that public comment period. The North Dakota League of Cities has put together a draft or a model policy to have in place. I have included that in your packet. Some things to consider would be the length of time per speaker. We are suggesting a 3-minute period per speaker. We've also are suggesting a total of 30 minutes for that public comment period, and those can be adjusted however the commission wishes to adopt that policy. It doesn't mean that we have to open up the public comment period and sit here for 30 minutes waiting for someone from the public. We would anticipate the mayor would be able to make a first call for public comment, second call, third call. If no one was here, we close the public comment period and then we move on. So it's not like we have a half hour set aside for that period. So those are 2 items for your consideration. The other item for your consideration would be if there is a need to kind of suspend those time periods so that one, either the commission could allow the mayor to suspend those time periods. So if you have someone talking for 3 minutes and they're just about to the end, but they don't get to the end till the 4th minute, the mayor could say, all right, we'll allow that to happen. Or if you want to go over the 30-minute time period, again, that could be up to the mayor's discretion, or it could be up to the commissioners as a whole to make that decision on whether you want to extend that 30-minute period, or if you want to say, nope, 30 minutes is it, then we'll get our things done in that period. So those are, I think, the big discussion points for you to consider. And again, we have drafted in the proposed policy 3 minutes per speaker and a 30-minute total time period for public comment, along with the president or mayor may suspend the time limitations at their direct discretion. So again, the last one is kind of the tricky one because, again, it's a commission decision on if you would want to suspend those time limitations. So would be, this policy would need the first meeting that we have in August would have to have the public comment period on it. And again, if the goal would be to have a policy adopted before August so that we could implement at that time.
Mayor and Commissioners, Jim, have you guys talked about exactly where we would put that? For example, right after approval of the agenda, before the approval?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioner Brown, I think we would put it at the beginning of the agenda. Exactly where that would fall, it would be at the front of the meeting. It wouldn't be at the tail end of the meeting because I think sometimes the public would want to have something if they want to say. They may not want to sit through a 2-hour meeting that doesn't pertain to what they want to talk about. Again, so we would anticipate that moving up to the front of the agenda.
Mayor and Jim, it didn't address anybody virtually, though. We would allow virtual?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioner Heinzschon, that is a very good question. I think the model policy talks about written comments would need to be received 24 hours before the meeting. And at that point, those comments would be distributed to the commissioners at the meeting. If those comments in writing would come after that 24 hours prior to, if that makes sense, then those comments would be distributed to after the meeting. The North Dakota Century Code and this policy does not address virtual comments. If you would like us to add something in there, we certainly could. I think we always like to have people in person during that public comment period. So again, if you would like to add that, we certainly could do that.
I'd just be curious if other entities are considering it, I guess. I would prefer in person as well, but.
I think Mayor Freilich and Commissioner Heinzschon, there are a lot of entities now that are post-COVID that are not doing virtual attendance by meetings unless it's a commissioner and we need to have them zoomed in because they're out of town or something like that. So we can certainly do some polling and some questioning of other communities to see how they're treating virtual comments, if you would like.
Jim, just for some clarification for the viewing public, if you will, president of the board is the mayor, correct?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioner Schoberg, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Technically, that's the technical term. They're commonly referred to as the mayor, but technically, Mayor Freilich or President Freilich is the president of the Board of City Commissioners.
Thank you.
Mayor and Commissioners, something that I would like to suggest is in the past, before we had a time limit, quite often people would, on the commission, the mayor himself would receive comments 10 minutes before the meeting, which is really not fair when that's addressed since we haven't had time to review. So 24 hours, I would see that sticking to that, to the letter.
Mayor Jim, I just want to clarify from our discussion that I had with you that comments had only can pertain to the previous meeting and the present meeting. Is that correct? It's not something way in the past. It has to be something that was on the agenda at the previous meeting and the current meeting. Is that correct?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioner Rohr, correct. So that items on your meeting you're having right now would be fair game, or items on the agenda from the previous meeting are fair game. Other than that,
So it's not an open door for history or
correct.
anything like that.
That's correct, and it's important that this policy would pertain only to that public comment period. Public hearings are a different matter.
Right.
And I guess we would anticipate during a public comment period as the public comes up, makes their comments, they sit down, the next one comes up. This is not necessarily a time for dissertation or discussion back and forth. It's let's hear what the public has to say. Thank you very much. But that, again, those are items that are up to the commission's discretion.
Clear? What are your guys' wishes?
I move to adopt the public comment policy as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Brown, a second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioners Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We'll move on to resolution and ordinances. Second consideration of ordinance 1468 related to the fireworks clarification. Chief Bitts.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Before you this evening, as you mentioned, is the second consideration for ordinance number 1468 related to fireworks. And in short, a few weeks ago, as we were preparing for the 4th of July festivities coming up this weekend, we noticed a technical error which would have allowed for fireworks to be discharged on the 2nd of July from an old previous ordinance. So this clarifies the commission changed the ordinance in 2020 to allow fireworks on July 3rd and July 4th from noon until midnight both days. So that's just clarifying that and correcting a technical error that we found in the ordinance. I'll stand for any questions you may have.
Any questions for Chief Bitts? If not, entertain a motion.
I move to approve the second consideration of ordinance number 1468.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Braun, second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion on fireworks? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We have no other business tonight. The future meeting dates for the Board of City Commissioners are July 15th, 2025 at 5:30, August 5th, 2025 at 5:30, August 19th, 2025 at 5:30. This is the 1-year anniversary of taking office. I'd like to thank the city staff. It's been a pleasure working with you this past year. I'd like to thank the commissioners, Amy. It's been wonderful, and it's been an honor to serve the city of Mandan. And with that, be kind to your neighbor, unless Mr. Schoberg.
We're good. You're the boss.
Okay, everybody have a good and safe 4th of July, and it's onward and upward, Mandan.